All right, good evening. Okay, we're going to continue on our journey through the halachos, the laws of tevilas kelim, immersing your pots and pans and stuff before you use them. It's a mitzvah. Okay. Now, so again, before when you buy a new pots and pans, you need to you have to dunk them in a mikvah or certain bodies of water before you use them. You're not allowed to use them otherwise. So it's important to know that there can't be anything between the vessel, or in Hebrew the keli, and the water that you're immersing it in. So that would mean anything like stickers, or price tags, glue, anything like that doesn't allow the water to completely contact the vessel. Part of that is also rust. Rust is something that can be common, especially if it's an older vessel, and you purchased it from a non-Jew, and you made it kosher, of course. But you also have to immerse it. You have to tevel it. So if it's rusty, so you have to get rid of the rust before you tevel it, because the rust is an intervening substance between the pot. I'm using the pot as an example, and the water. If you didn't take this rust off, if it bothers you that it's there, okay, it's a little bit of rust. If it bothers you that it's there, you want it out, just by the fact that you don't want it there, makes it that it gets in the way. Meaning if you toveled it right now with this rust on it, it wouldn't work. You'd have to get rid of the rust. Now, if you scrubbed it like crazy, and you like scrubbed and you rubbed and you lit it on fire, I have no idea what, and you left this tiny little bit of rust that nobody cares about, that's fine. You can tevel it like that. An interesting thing, an important point is that if the rust is not really rust, rather it's a color, it's just a discoloration. It's nothing actual. There's no actual substance. You can't actually touch it and feel it. It's just a discoloration. That's fine. That doesn't get in the way. Now, one more point, and then we'll call it a day, which is that we mentioned in one of the first classes that the mitzvah of teveling your vessels, immersing them in the water before you use them, is not just some nice custom that we decided to pick up one day. It's a biblical mitzvah. It's a mitzvah from the Torah. That being the case, a child cannot do this mitzvah for you. You can't send a small child, a 6-year-old kid, to go to the mikvah and they immerse your vessels for you. You have an adult over the age of bar mitzvah for a boy, or 13 years old, or bas mitzvah, 12 years old for a girl. However, you can, if you're supervising the children, you're supervising them, and you're making sure they're doing it properly, you can stand there. They can do it themselves. As long as you see that they're doing it properly, that's totally fine. The reason given is because this mitzvah of tevilas kelim, teveling, immersing the vessels before you use them, does not need intent. You don't need to intently, like, I'm doing this mitzvah, I'm immersing it in the water to fulfill this mitzvah. It's important to realize what you're doing, not just do things haphazardly, but it doesn't need to have this intent. To the extent that technically, if you're standing by the mikvah and you got all your pots and pans and you're getting ready to immerse them all, if a big wind comes and knocks them into the water, they've been immersed, done. Even if you didn't do anything, you don't need to tevel them again. In fact, if you for some reason decide get into your head that you want to tevel it again, you can't make a blessing because it's already been teveled. Okay, we'll pause here. Oh, I don't know. Most mitzvahs do. Not most mitzvahs. At least lechatchila, at the very outset, you should initially have intent. Saying in some mitzvahs, the intent is part and parcel of the mitzvah. Like, for example, davening. The Rambam says that davening, by definition, it requires kavanah.
Of only one mitzvah.
That what?
That I can think of.
It doesn't need kavana?
It doesn't need kavanah.
Yeah, I'll say.
Yibum.
Yibun doesn't need kavana. Didn't know that. Thank you. Yibun doesn't need kavana. How do you do yibun without kavana?
Yehuda did with Tamar.
Oh, that's what you're saying. I hear. Okay. Okay. Right. Good point. Point. All right.